There is a silent torture that most people endure every single day of their lives. It is a torture that is self-inflicted, yet it feels inescapable. It is the torture of caring too much. You know this feeling. It is the anxiety that wakes you up at 3 a.m., replaying a conversation you had 3 years ago, wondering if you said the wrong thing. It is the paralyzing fear that stops you from posting your art, starting your business, or approaching the person you are attracted to, simply because you are terrified of what they might think. It is the hollow pit in your stomach when you realize someone doesn't like you, doesn't respect you, or has misunderstood you. You are walking through life carrying a backpack that weighs 1,000 pounds. Inside that backpack are the opinions of your parents, the expectations of your boss, the judgments of your peers, and the imagined criticisms of strangers on the internet. You are crushed under the weight of this invisible cargo. You are exhausted, not because the road is steep, but because you are carrying the emotional luggage of everyone you have ever met. You have been conditioned to believe that this burden is normal. You have been taught that to be a good person you must care. You must care about everything. You must care about the news. You must care about the trends. You must care about being polite. You must care about fitting in. But what if I told you that this conditioning is a lie? What if I told you that your caring is not a virtue, but a chain? What if I told you that the secret to absolute freedom, to unshakable confidence, and to terrifying power is the ability to simply not care? I am not talking about nihilism. I am not talking about depression. I am not talking about the apathy of the defeated man who stays in bed because he thinks life is meaningless. I am talking about strategic indifference. I am talking about the deliberate, calculated decision to withdraw your emotional investment from things that do not matter, so you can invest it heavily in the things that do. I am talking about the superpower of being untouchable. When you stop caring about the noise, you can finally hear the signal. When you stop fearing the judgment of the sheep, you can finally become the lion. Today, we are going to dismantle the approval trap. We are going to explore the evolutionary biology of why you are wired to care and why that wiring is obsolete. We are going to teach you the subtle art of the shrug. We are going to look at the Stoic philosophy of the inner citadel. And we are going to give you the tactical protocols to detonate the bridges of validation and walk forward into a life of absolute sovereignty. You are about to learn how to drop the backpack. You are about to feel a lightness you haven't felt since you were a child. If you are ready to stop being a slave to the opinions of others and start being the master of your own reality, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to the channel right now. The world wants you to care so it can control you. We are about to break the control mechanism. Let's begin. The biology of the tribe. To understand why you care so much, we have to look at the hardware. We have to look at the primitive machinery of your brain. You are not wired for the modern world. You are wired for the Pleistocene era. You are wired for the tribe. For 99% of human history, survival was a group project. You lived in a small band of 50 to 150 people. In that environment, social approval was not just a vanity metric. It was a matter of life and death. If the tribe liked you, you got food. You got protection. You got a mate. You survived. If the tribe disliked you, if you were weird, awkward, or disagreeable, you were shamed. You were ostracized. You were cast out into the wilderness. And in the wilderness, alone, you died. You starved, or you were eaten by predators. Therefore, your brain evolved a highly sensitive alarm system called the sociometer. This system constantly scans the environment for signals of rejection. A frown from a peer, a whisper behind your back, a laugh at your expense. When the sociometer detects these signals, it triggers the amygdala. It floods your body with cortisol, stress hormone. It creates the physical sensation of panic and nausea. Your brain is screaming, "Danger! You are about to be exiled. Fix it. Apologize. Conform. This mechanism kept your ancestors alive. But here is the problem. You do not live in a tribe of 150 people anymore. You live in a global civilization of 8 billion people. If a stranger on the internet dislikes your comment, you are not going to starve. If your coworker thinks your shoes are ugly, you are not going to be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. If you get rejected by a girl at a bar, you are not going to die alone in the woods. The threat is gone, but the alarm system is still active. You are running caveman software in a digital world. You are treating a downvote like a death sentence. You are treating an awkward silence like a survival threat. This is a biological glitch. You are suffering from phantom pain, the pain of a social wound that cannot actually hurt you. The sovereign man understands this biology. He realizes that his anxiety is a hallucination. He looks at the rejection and says to his brain, "Thank you for the warning, but we are safe. We can survive this." He overrides the software. He realizes that in the modern world, being disliked is not a danger. It is often a sign that you are doing something right. It is a sign that you are standing for something. The tribe has grown too large to please everyone. If you try to please 8 billion people, you will become a ghost. You must choose which tribe matters and be indifferent to the rest. The spotlight effect. There is another psychological glitch that keeps you trapped in the prison of caring. It is called the spotlight effect. This is the cognitive bias where we tend to overestimate how much other people notice about us. You walk into a room and you think everyone is looking at you. You think they noticed the stain on your shirt. You think they noticed that you stumbled over your words. You think they are going home and talking about your awkwardness over dinner. You view yourself as the main character in the movie of life, and you assume everyone else is the audience, watching your every move with critical eyes. Here is the brutal, liberating truth. Nobody is watching you. Nobody cares. They are not looking at you. They are looking at themselves. They are worrying about the stain on their shirt. They are worrying about their awkwardness. They are the main character in their own movie, and you are just an extra in the background. Think about it. How much time do you spend thinking about the embarrassing things other people did? Do you lie awake at night thinking about how the cashier dropped your change 3 years ago? No. You forgot it 5 seconds after it happened. Guess what? They forgot about you, too. The spotlight effect is a form of narcissism. It is the belief that you are important enough to be the center of everyone's attention. You are not. And this is the greatest news of your life. It means you are invisible. It means you are free. You can dance, and no one is watching. You can fail, and no one is keeping score. You can change your life, and no one will even notice until the results are undeniable. When you realize that the audience is empty, the stage fright disappears. You stop performing. You stop acting. You start living. You realize that the only person watching the movie of your life is you. So, you might as well make it a movie you enjoy watching, rather than a movie designed to please an audience that isn't even in the theater. The economy of fucks. Let's talk about resource management. Mark Manson famously wrote about the subtle art of not giving a fuck. The core principle is this. You have a limited number of fucks to give. Your emotional energy is a finite currency. You wake up every morning with a certain amount of units in your bank account. Every time you care about something, you spend a unit. You get angry at traffic? That cost you 5 units. You worry about what your ex is doing? That cost you 20 units. You stress about a rude comment on Instagram? That cost you 10 units. You obsess over whether your socks match. That cost you 2 units. By 10 a.m., you are bankrupt. You have spent all your emotional currency on trivial, meaningless nonsense. And then, when something actually important happens, when you need to work on your business, when your family needs you, when you need to handle a real crisis, you have nothing left to give. You are emotionally tapped out. You are irritable, tired, and numb. The art of detachment is the art of budgeting. It is becoming a miser with your emotional currency. It is looking at a situation and asking, can I afford to care about this? Is this person worth 10 units of my soul? Is this argument worth 50 units of my peace? Usually, the answer is no. So you save it. You hoard it. You let the traffic be traffic. You let the X be the X. You let the rude person be rude. You keep your currency in the vault. And then, you spend it on the things that matter. You spend it on your mission. You spend it on your body. You spend it on the few people who truly love you. When you concentrate your fucks on the 1% of things that matter, you become powerful. You become intense. You become effective. The person who cares about everything achieves nothing. The person who cares about almost nothing achieves everything. The Stoic Citadel. This is not a new idea. The ancient Stoics mastered this 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth, wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The Stoics visualized the mind as an inner citadel, a fortress. Outside the fortress is the world. It is chaotic. It is loud. It is full of barbarians, storms, and wars. Inside the fortress is your soul. It is calm. It is orderly. It is under your control. Most people live with the gates of their fortress wide open. Every time someone insults them, the arrow flies right into the throne room and hits the king. Every time something goes wrong, the chaos rushes in and destroys the peace. They are reactive. They are slaves to the external world. If the world is nice, they are happy. If the world is mean, they are sad. They have no sovereignty. The untouchable man closes the gates. He stands on the wall and watches the arrows fly. He sees the insult coming. He watches it arc through the sky. And he watches it hit the stone wall and bounce off harmlessly. He does not let it enter. He realizes that an insult is just noise. It is just air vibrating in a larynx. It has no physical mass. It cannot hurt him unless he chooses to pick it up and stab himself with it. Epictetus, the slave philosopher, said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of things." You cannot control what people say about you. You cannot control if you get fired. You cannot control if it rains. But you can control your assent. You can control whether you agree to be hurt. You can look at the person screaming at you and think, "This is a person in pain. This has nothing to do with me." And you can feel nothing. This is not repression. This is transcendence. It is looking at the storm from behind thick glass. You see the rain, but you do not get wet. The weaponization of validation. We must also understand why society wants you to care. It is a control mechanism. If you care about what people think, you are easily manipulated. Corporations use your insecurity to sell you products. Buy this car, or people will think you're poor. Use this cream, or people will think you're ugly. Politicians use your fear of ostracization to sell you ideologies. Vote for this, or you are a bad person. Social media platforms use your need for validation to keep you scrolling. Check your likes, check your views. Did they validate you yet? They have weaponized your social instincts against you. They have built a trillion-dollar industry on your fear of not being enough. When you stop caring, you break the machine. You become a bad consumer. You don't need the fancy car to impress people you don't like. You don't need the expensive clothes to fit in. You become a bad voter for them. You don't vote out of fear. You vote out of principle. You become a bad user. You don't scroll for dopamine. You create. The untouchable man is the ultimate rebel. He cannot be shamed into compliance. He cannot be guilt-tripped into submission. He cannot be seduced by flattery. He stands outside the matrix of validation, and this makes him dangerous to the system. This is why they call you cold. This is why they call you arrogant. This is why they call you aloof. These are shaming tactics designed to drag you back into the cage of caring. Do not fall for them. Wear those labels like badges of honor. Yes, I am cold to your manipulation. Yes, I am arrogant enough to trust my own judgment over yours. The levels of detachment. Becoming untouchable is a journey. It happens in stages. You need to identify where you are and where you are going. Level 1. The pretender. Fake apathy. This is where most people start. You pretend not to care, but inside, you are burning. You act cool, but you check your phone every 5 minutes to see if they texted. You say, "I don't care what they think," but you go home and cry. This is a defense mechanism. It is better than nothing, but it is exhausting. It is a mask. Level 2. The stoic, rational detachment. This is where you start using logic. You analyze the situation. Does this matter in 5 years? No. So I won't worry about it. You catch yourself reacting and you stop it. You are still feeling the sting, but you are not letting it control your actions. You are white-knuckling the indifference. This is the training ground. This is where the muscle is built. Level 3. The sovereign, true indifference. This is the goal. You reach a point where you genuinely, biologically, do not care. The insult doesn't even register. It's like a fly buzzing. You don't have to try to ignore it. You just don't notice it. You are so focused on your mission, so grounded in your own reality, that the external noise has no volume. You act based on your internal compass, not external pressure. You are free. Tactical protocols. How to stop caring. So, how do we get to level 3? How do we rewire the brain? Here are the tactical protocols for strategic indifference. Protocol 1. The so what drill. This is a cognitive reframing tool. When you feel anxiety about a social situation or a potential failure, play the so what game to the end. What if I stutter during the presentation? So what? People might laugh. So what? They might think I'm incompetent. So what? I might not get the promotion. So what? I might stay in this job. So what? I might have to find a new job. So what? I'll be fine. Most of our fears are vague ghosts. When you force them into the light with so what, you realize the worst-case scenario is usually just, I will be uncomfortable for a bit. You can handle discomfort. You will not die. Desensitize yourself to the worst-case scenario, and the fear loses its teeth. Protocol 2. The 5-year rule. Before you spend any emotional currency on a problem, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? The rude comment? No. The traffic jam? No. The spilled coffee? No. The awkward date? No. If it won't matter in 5 years, do not spend more than 5 minutes being upset about it. Save your stress for the things that change the trajectory of your life. Your health, your career, your family. Everything else is just weather. Let it rain. Protocol 3. The Death Meditation. Memento Mori. This is the ultimate perspective shifter. Go to a graveyard. Walk around. Look at the names. Look at the dates. Realize that every single person under the ground worried about what people thought of them. They worried about their clothes. They worried about their reputation. They worried about their awkward moments. And now they are dust. And the people they tried to impress are dust. And the opinions they feared are dust. You are going to join them soon. Life is a flicker. It is a brief spark in the eternal dark. Do you really want to spend your spark worrying about the opinion of a coworker named Karen? Do you really want to spend your spark afraid to dance? The proximity of death makes life real. It strips away the bullshit. When you realize you are dying, you stop caring about the trivial. You only care about the vital. Use death as your advisor. Ask it, does this matter? Death will always tell you the truth. Protocol 4. The Exposure Therapy. You cannot think your way out of fear. You have to act your way out. You need to inoculate yourself against rejection. Go out and get rejected on purpose. Ask for a discount on a coffee. They will say no. It will be awkward. You will survive. Lay down on the sidewalk for 10 seconds. People will stare. You will survive. Wear a weird outfit. Post the video you are scared to post. The more you expose yourself to social pain and realize it doesn't kill you, the tougher your skin becomes. You build calluses on your soul. Eventually, you become bulletproof. Protocol 5. The Black Box Identity. Stop crowdsourcing your identity. Most people ask the world, who am I? Am I good? Am I smart? And the world gives them conflicting answers, so they are confused. You need to move your identity into a black box that only you have the key to. Define your own values. I am a man who keeps his word. I am a man who works hard. I am a man who is kind. If you know you met your standards, it doesn't matter what the world says. If the world boos you, but you know you did right, you sleep soundly. If the world cheers you, but you know you cheated, you sleep poorly. The scorecard is internal. The judge is you. The jury is you. Fire the external court. The magnetism of indifference. There is a final paradoxical benefit to this path. When you truly stop caring what people think, people become obsessed with you. It is the law of least interest. Video number 7. People are desperate for validation. They are constantly chasing approval. When they meet someone who doesn't need approval, someone who is self-contained, someone who is sovereign, they are mesmerized. They want to be around you. They want to know your secret. They crave your validation because you don't crave theirs. You become the prize. You become the leader. You become the rock in the stream. By letting go of the need for connection, you attract connection. By letting go of the need for status, you gain status. By letting go of the fear of failure, you achieve success. This is the Tao of power. To have everything, you must be willing to let go of everything. The transformation. It is time to drop the backpack. Imagine taking it off your shoulders right now. Feel the weight hit the floor. Feel your spine straighten. Feel your lungs expand. Look at the world around you. It is a playground. It is a canvas. It is yours. It is no longer a courtroom. You are no longer on trial. The verdict is in. You are free. Walk forward into that freedom. Create art that scares you. Speak truth that shakes the room. Love without the fear of loss. Live without the fear of judgment. Become the storm, and let the others worry about the rain. I want you to make a decision today. Identify one thing you have been stressing about, one opinion, one fear, one person, and decide, right now, to withdraw your investment. Decide to bankrupt that fear. Say it out loud. I do not care. And I want to ask you a question in the comments, one that will solidify your new armor. What is the one fuck you are going to stop giving today? Is it about your appearance, your career path, your relationship status? Write it down, leave it in the comments, and walk away lighter. Welcome to the void. Welcome to strategic solitude.